Welcome, everybody, to another episode of everyone's favorite. Hey, well, if there's a couple of different realities and we can't tell what's true anymore, can't there just be one that we just enjoy? Here, I deliver for you. Welcome to the reality that you can just take your socks and shoes off and just enjoy. You don't have to ask whether it's true or not. Just enjoy it. But you'll still find a way to get angry anyway, because that's what 2022 is all about. Please release your ire into the comment section where it at least benefits me, because the algorithm shows engagement. Whether those engagements are death threats to J.K. Rowling or Salman Rushdie or not, it doesn't care as long as there's no CBD ads in it. We have a great week here. Oh, God, things are finally looking up. Nuclear war, authors getting stabbed, military drills from NATO allies in the South Pacific. China's angry because some lawmakers are going to Taiwan, and people want to blow up the FBI. It's a sweet time. This is really more like Norman Rockwell's peak. This is the Norman Rockwell that he really painted about. When you see his paintings, you go, ah, that's a future utopia like 2022, where kids and dogs and girls are just sitting at ice cream parlors sharing an ice cream sundae with a very happy state trooper sitting there going, don't get too much chocolate because Mommy said there's a bedtime. It's a wonderful world right now. Ben & Jerry's suing Ben & Jerry. How's that possible? Because of 2022 it's possible. We have the story. Also, Chicago students are painting the largest mosaic ever in support of Ukraine. That should do it. War's over. Can we have some students in this country who learn math and science? You can't all become comedians. Yes, you can. Don't listen to me. Funny doesn't matter anymore. Just go up there and tell them your story and how society has failed you. Facebook information did not hold when it comes to the Brazil election. It was found that Facebook allowed plenty of disinformation in the Brazilian election. Let me tell you something about Brazil. Okay? That's probably the straightest, most lawful thing that happened in that godforsaken country. All I want to know about Brazil is when the soccer team is going to play and when Bang Brothers is going to be driving a bus through there for my enjoyment. It's hard to get away from the FBI Mar-a-Lago investigation right now. That is dominating the news, but we do have some good news. A Texas man who was accused of child sexual abuse killed himself during the trial, which I think is a great solution. Stay tuned for my opinions. We don't do the news here. We do just like the news does, where I just insert myself and give you my op-ed. This is Longdays, and aren't you curious to find out what's the last?
Yannis Pappas. Yeah. When you all tucked up in the day long, and the news online going on and on, what's right and wrong, and it's something up. Now here comes a great kid you know you can trust. From the true who's who to the news and cameras, to the fake politics and the propaganda. Yeah, this kid screwed in, got a lot to say. Oh shit, it's about to be a long day. It's a long day. It's a long day.
I think this is a feel-good story. Right now, context is always relevant. Okay? I know that extremists, activists, and very angry young people want to get rid of context. But context is very important. Without context, you can't really understand what's going on. You have to put everything into context. If you're reasonable, you put it into context. That's why I say, in the context of this week in 2022, where there's not a lot of rainbows on the horizon, just rain, I think this is a feel-good story. This is like a candy store amidst a bunch of derelicts hanging out on corners, selling heroin and prostitutes, flashing your kids. This is an old Times Square in the 80s in New York City, candy store right in the middle of hell, baby. And I'm talking about this man, dare I say hero, dare I say role model, who solved our problem for us. He was convicted of child sexual abuse, and he killed himself right there at the sentencing. He prepared, right? Just like he did for those kids. He premeditated. He created the poison. He brought it in a Poland Spring bottle, unnoticed. Probably it was noticed. They didn't care. They were going like, what's that? He probably said poison. They said, all right, it gets through. He probably told them. He probably, when you go through the metal detectors, when you get into the court, they're probably like, you can't bring liquids. Because I remember for some reason, someone tried to use a Mountain Dew to blow up a plane, and now none of us can bring a fucking bottled water onto a plane, as if someone's smart enough to build a bomb out of fucking water. And I got to take my shoes off like someone's smart. The guy who did it with his shoes wasn't even successful because you can't blow up a Nike Air Max, right? But now we all got to take our fucking shoes off at the airport like that's the threat, all right? Like the threat is in my fucking very cool and underrated Scotch and Soda new white sneakers that I bought. They're a Danish company. It's not really popular. I haven't seen any celebrity wearing them. I just went out on a limb. I was walking with my wife in Miami. I threw them on my feet and I said, let's get it. Right now, they only look good in shorts, but not great because my legs are stocky and my calves are big. I love Scotch and Soda. But anyway, you can't bring a half-drank, is it drunken or drank? How do you say the past tense? You can't bring a fucking half-drunk Poland Spring onto a plane. They treat it like you're trying to walk on with a 9mm pistol. You're going, guy, I'm trying to hydrate. My doctor said I need to drink half my body water. Half my body water. Half my weight in water. Half my body water.
Come on,
I just like my mind wants to abbreviate. Like this guy did to his own life. He abbreviated it. We're joined as always by Jared Harvin, Jesse Scaturo. Follow them on socials. Definitely follow Jared Harvin. Jesse, you could do whatever you want.
Yeah.
He don't care.
Yeah. Nope.
Anyway, so this guy, he was convicted of child sexual abuse, and the prosecutor said he was seen drinking a bottle of liquid before having a medical emergency. That's PC speak. Especially this happened in Texas. They just let him kill himself.
Yeah.
Which I agree with, and I'll explain to you why. So they said he had a medical emergency, or as it was really called in real time, he started dying and we didn't intervene. We let it happen. As he started convulsing, they said, wait, let's see what happens. So as the verdict was being read, he chugged a bottle of water, and obviously there was poison in there. And like I said, they probably just let him through. When he came through with the water, they probably said, what's in the bottle? He probably said, it's poison, so if they convict me, I'm going to kill myself. And the two Joe Rogan podcast listeners that were manning that station said, fine. That sounds like justice to me. And I agree. Dare I say I agree with something that happened in the great state of Texas? I agree. This is a perfect solution. This should be an option, right? So if someone's undoubtedly guilty, and I'm not saying they force it, they give the guy the choice. So it's his choice. And he doesn't want to live life in prison, or especially because you don't, look, if the guy committed murder, he probably wouldn't have done it because he'd at least be able to watch terrestrial TV and have meatloaf a couple times a week without being threatened to be ass raped by other prisoners all the time. He'd have a shot at a decent jail life. He'd work in the kitchen. He'd be able to be in charge of the peas. He'd have a decent life. He'd make a couple license plates, and he'd be able to read his dumb books.
Yeah.
But when you're a child predator and you go to jail, the convicts don't like that. Mm-mm. Most convicts are not child predators. Everyone holds child innocence as sacrosanct, including convicts. So he knew. He did the smart thing. He's like, I'm not going to go get ass raped. I'm not going to go have to be put in solitary confinement just to protect myself from the killers who think I'm the bad guy, which you are. I love that there's like levels of, there's like levels, like, there's levels to it. Like somehow him going to jail makes the other killers the good guys. Life's messy, kids. That's why you tune into Longdays. This is an adult show where we don't promote EBG. We don't promote EBG. Trying to stay away from the YouTube censors. This is for all ages if you choose to. 12 and up, 14 and down, 17 and over. I'm trying to confuse them. We're going to have to start speaking in double speak. Like in the, wasn't there like a secret language in 1984? That's where we're getting. Because, companies like to act a little CCP-like. Anyway, CCP meaning the group, CCP. Color me bad. Try to get away from these YouTube censors. They got these bots out here. Dog, it's like the Matrix now. You got to hide when those fucking bots come around. So this guy said, I'm not going to prison. I'm not going to be stigmatized, walk around with a scarlet letter of what I did to children, which is a heinous crime. And he killed himself, much like that guy at the International Court in The Hague. I think he was convicted of international war crimes. I think he was Serbian. And he just drank that poison and killed himself when he was convicted after he, said his statement, whatever. Much like the guy who killed Abraham Lincoln. He stood up and said, I'm whatever, and then he fucking killed himself. Yeah, his name was Slobodan, who can't pronounce is his name. And he actually looks like a character in Lord of the Rings. Yeah. That looks like he's wearing a special effects mask for a J.R. Tolkien production. Yeah. Look at that dude's face, dog. That is an Eastern European. That is Eastern European genes that haven't seen a fresh influx of genetics in thousands of years. Yeah. That guy is from a mountain in Montenegro that hasn't seen a person who didn't belong to that mountain village in 3,000 years, and that's the result. They come out looking like the animal they farmed. I mean, that dude, there is not one decent drop of DNA from any other place on the planet since the beginning of time. I mean, look at that guy.
He looks a little like Seth Rogen.
He looks like Seth Rogen. If Seth Rogen was Eastern European and had some... All right, we may have to fucking edit that part.
He looks very...
It's my fucking Tim Dillon impersonation. Fucking Tim Dillon. I do a pretty decent Tim Dillon, don't I?
Yeah, it's good.
Got that a try. So he was a Bosnian Croat. Oh, wow. The Serbian community is going to be pissed at me. I apologize for mixing up you Eastern Europeans. I apologize. He was a Bosnian Croat war criminal. I apologize. Please don't put a fatwa on my head, you fucking maniacs. I made a mistake. He was a Bosnian Croat war criminal. Slobodan Brodzak died after taking potassium cyanide in The Hague's courtroom as Dutch prosecutors. Whenever you go to those international court, it's always filled with like Dutch and Norwegian lawyers. Like, okay, what did you do? You killed the people at the house. Not the good, the peace no. Why'd I just make them Italian? So much like this guy, that's what he did. And he stood up, he said his little harangue, and then he killed himself after he was convicted. He basically said, I'm not, you're guilty, I'm not, whatever sociopath says, and then he killed himself. This guy, did he do it quietly like a fucking child predator? So as the verdict was being read, he just stood up and he drank it. Yeah, he didn't say anything. Good. He was facing 5 counts of child sexual abuse relating to the same victim. He had been free on bond until the verdict. They said he chugged some water that appeared cloudy. Yeah. He told the bailiff he might want to go check on him. The bailiff did. He was unconscious in a holding cell. He's dead now, right?
Dead. Yeah.
Yeah, he's dead.
From a water bottle.
Yeah, so he put some poison. He poisoned himself, and he killed himself.
Well,
yeah.
Yeah, due to his charges, he should have drank it from a Capri Sun.
Yeah, I mean, just as a fuck you to the court.
Yeah.
That's what he would have done. So this, I think, is a great option. I think this is actually, we should make this the child sexual predator law, where like if you're about to be convicted, they give you poison. And they say, hey, man, the choice is yours. We're not telling you what to do. It's up to you. You know, but this ain't water. And with like a little wink, this ain't water. You know, this could probably be Texas would just write this law tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
They would have no qualms. You know, there'd be a bunch of people going like, wait a second, you're killing somebody. And they'd be like, this is Texas, bitch, get out of here.
It'd be called the secret stuff law.
Yeah, put your mask on and go back to fucking Cooktown. We fucking kill child predators here. And I would kind of agree. As long as you could make sure that they're guilty, like, you know, somehow, I don't know, a certain preponderance of evidence that is beyond a reasonably doubt, provable, whatever that evidence is. You know what I'm saying? There's got to be some standard by which, like, you're going like, all right, this guy did it. He did it.
Yeah. Yeah. With this case, you could just look at this guy's nose.
You could look at his face and his uneven eyes and know that he's into nothing good.
Yeah.
Yeah, he looks like it a little bit.
He looks like a burned G.I. Joe.
He does. He looks like his face was reconstructed after a chimp attack.
Yeah.
He's got that type of like pushed back, like reconstructed skin graft face. Mm-hmm. So that would be great, right? You save the criminal justice system and taxpayers a lot of time and money. His safety's insured, and he doesn't want to be in jail as a sexual predator, and everyone wins. It's a win-win for everyone, even him. Right? Why do you want to continue to live when you're going to go to jail and they're going to try to kill you every second of every day? So this is a great option. I think this is a feel-good story. Dare I say it's a feel-good story. This is like a teenager from the wrong side of the tracks deciding to turn over a new leaf and help an old lady across the street with her groceries.
Yeah.
That's what it sounds like to me. In 2022, baby, this is as good as the news gets. A man killing himself in a court of law after being convicted of child rape is as good as it's going to get, because the rest of the news is what you call a little bit of a long day. There ain't nothing sappy going on right now. Nuclear war is on the horizon. As I said, so's polio. But don't forget monkeypox. No friend to the gay community. Monkeypox is like Senator Lindsey Graham. No friend to the gay community right now. Also, we got violent threats against the FBI because of their raid on Mar-a-Lago. And that's pretty much dominating the news. One guy tried to, I guess he suicide bombed by the Capitol, right? Tried to drive into the Capitol and suicide bomb it. Then he like shot himself or whatever, right? I think it seems like they know he was like a Trump supporter. There's threats from Trump supporters now. There's protests outside the FBI office in Phoenix. Tons of threats of violence against the FBI because they are investigating your boy. So this is a powder keg of a situation. God, we're living at a very tenuous and precarious time where, God, who knows? Everything seems like it's hanging on by a thin thread. So he crashed into a barrier near the Capitol. He's trying to get to the Capitol, and he opened fire before shooting himself. Another feel-good story. Man. At this time, it does not appear the man was targeting any members of Congress, specifically who were on recess. But it does appear officers fired their weapon. Several hours after the incident, Capitol Police identified the suspect as a 29-year-old promising doctor. No, that's never the case. A 29-year-old fucking 4chan loser named Richard York III of Delaware. This guy's got fucking WASP titles. He's a third. He's got a portrait up in a foyer. Why would he do this?
He was trying to shoot people with a blunderbuss.
Capitol Police noted in a statement it's still not clear why he chose to drive to the Capitol complex. Okay, so we don't know. Security, I think we can guess. I think we can make a pretty good guess. I think when they go to his internet history, I don't think they're going to see a lot of. I don't think they're going to see a lot of Googled why AOC is such a Yas queen.
Yeah.
I don't think they're going to find a lot of those. I don't think they're going to see why defunding the police is a good idea. I don't think they're going to see a lot of those.
He's not going to have cookies for climate change.
No, I don't think you're going to see a lot of climate changes happening. I don't think you're going to see a lot of how to convince my family that climate change is a real thing articles on this one in specific. I know there's some people watching now going, what about the guy who shot Bernie or whoever? That's not what I'm talking about right now. Context. Okay, remember context. I'll get to those jokes when that happens or we talk about it. But for this one, in this context, with the FBI raids, I think it is clear that he did this because the homemade ice cream sandwich shop in D.C. was closed. I think that's clear. I think this guy was upset that Maverick the movie was now going to be out of theaters and on streaming services. It's clear. It's clear that this guy was upset that History Hyenas broke up. I think it's clear. I think I draw my conclusions in this context that is clear, that this guy is upset by who won Comedy Person of the Year in Montreal, Amy Schumer. What the fuck? Has she even done comedy in a year? That was her own. Obviously, the chances are this has something to do with the FBI raid on Mar-a-Lago. I just love to say it, Mar-a-Lago. And they're probably not saying it. They're probably like not releasing it to the press because they probably don't want a lot of copycats or whatever. They're probably keeping, as you said, this article was very small. You know, this kind of came and went. They definitely talked about it on news channels or whatever, but they probably don't want a lot of copycats. So there have been other security incidents near the complex since January 6th. A man rammed his car into officers standing near a security barricade, killing one and injuring another in April 2021. The man, 25-year-old promising architect, obviously that's a joke, 25-year-old loser Noah Green, was shot and killed by police. In October 2021, a man named Dale Paul Mevin was arrested after parking his vehicle outside the Supreme Court across the street from the Capitol and refusing to leave. This is a very precarious and tenuous time where institutions seem to have lost trust. The internet has been the impetus and caused decentralization of everything. Gatekeepers out the window. Hell, even editors could be anyone now. You know, all the way down to editors. There's like no position for an editor anymore who's not also / actor / producer / part-time model / OnlyFans / amateur boxer with the dream of fighting Jake Paul. I mean, that's what we have now. Is everyone is everything, no matter who they are. They can say who they are. It's not a coincidence that we have this gender controversy also, because this is an age where anyone can say that they are what they are. Someone can say, I'm a comedian, and you go like, what clubs do you work at? And he goes, what clubs do I work at? I just made 400 TikTok clips, and I got 4 million viewers. Where'd you record them? He's like, I recorded them in my living room performing for my cat. And you're like, I guess you are a comedian, dog. There's no institutions to say what is and what is not. There's no gatekeepers to say this is art, this is not. And in fact, when the reviewers do come in, the only thing they hold on to is ideology, because that's all they have left. They've lost control because nobody cares what the reviewers say. They care about what other people are saying. They go to the Yelp reviews. Nobody cares what a esteemed restaurant reviewer says anymore. Mm-hmm. They go to Yelp and they see how many reviews, a couple of thousand that were bought and paid for by the restaurant. Probably, by the way. It's hard to tell what's real and not real. But there's no experts. They're all gone. So that's the context, the backdrop for everything. Box of awesome, everybody. Who doesn't love a nice box full of surprises? custom made for you or a gift for somebody else. I love the way they set this up. Bespoke Post, they partner with small businesses and emerging brands to bring you unique goods every single month. What a fun thing to sign up for. No matter what you have going on, Box of Awesome has you covered. They got like the camping gear, essentials, beach day travel, little knives. There's always a knife in there. All you got to do is take the quiz on boxofawesome.com. It's very fun, and your answers will help them pick the right Box of Awesome for you. What is Box of Awesome? Each month, they release a new box across a ton of different categories, and each box is priced in value around $70, but you only pay a fraction of that price. Each Box of Awesome, if you love supporting small business like you know we do, each Box of Awesome does just that. Supports small business. 90% of everything that comes in your Box of Awesome is from a small up-and-coming brand, and it's really cool stuff that you get. It's a surprise, but also based on your answers. So they get a sense of who you are, and they give you the stuff. So go to boxofawesome.com, enter the promo code FUMES at checkout, and you'll get 20% off. That's a lot. Your first box. boxofawesome.com/fumes. Sign up for your Box of Awesome every month right now for you or for somebody else. It's a great gift for you or someone else. boxofawesome.com, promo code FUMES. Guys, we're back to ButcherBox. ButcherBox is an absolute 10 out of 10 as a company. God, they just send you a brilliantly packaged, frozen box of meat that takes care of your proteins for all your meals. It saves you a bunch of time at the grocery store. That is the worst part of going grocery shopping, is getting the meats, freezing them, and getting them home. These come to you pre-frozen in like great packaging right to your doorstep, so you don't got to think about your meats at all when you grocery shop. All the meats are have no hormones, no antibiotics, freshly packed. It's just amazing. You customize your own box. Or you can go with one of theirs. So all the options are available. You get exactly what you want. Delicious 100% grass-fed beef, organic range chicken, pork raised crate-free, and wild-caught seafood. Less than $6 per meal on average. So you also save a lot of money by using ButcherBox. Everyone should be using ButcherBox. It's a hell of a company. The meats are absolutely delicious. We love it here at Longdays. We use it. Why wouldn't you at this price? It's so much easier to get it at your door, and the quality's better. So go to butcherbox.com/fumes and use code BONUS100, all one word, to get 1 pack of free bacon in every box. This is great for the lifetime of your membership. So there you go. Breakfast. You get free bacon, dog. I mean, you're getting your meats anyway. You need your meats. Go with ButcherBox. The meats are better, and you get free bacon for the lifetime of your membership, plus $100 off your first order. So they kick that in for the first time. This is a no-brainer. This is an easy sale. So just go to butcherbox.com/fumes. Use the promo code again, BONUS100, to claim this deal for my fans right now. Go get your meats. Start using ButcherBox. It'll change your life for the better. More convenient, more quality. It's a win. This is the context of where we're at, where nobody knows what is the right, the wrong, the true, the false thing. It's all based on your interest and what your team is. What team are you on? I would like to read a quote. Jesse, you're going to like this quote. I don't mean to make you do two things at the same time. God knows that's going to slow down the process.
Oh, yeah.
But I would like to read a quote. I would like to read a nice little quote that I found, not from Salman Rushdie, who says, "What is freedom of expression without the freedom to offend? It ceases to exist." That's actually something along the lines that I've said, and I never heard him do that quote. So I agree. How do you know? I said my quote is like, how do you know you're free? if comedians aren't offending. Think about that. Take a second to think about it. If you're not being offended, how do you know you're free? That's actually the only way to know that you're still free is to be offended. Offended. I just came up with a new word. A combination of being offended by a friend. That's a good one. Just like inflammatory. The other one I combined inflammatory and implications. Implications. Inflications is another word I created.
Yeah.
And what was the other one I just said? Frematory. Offended. Offensive.
Yeah.
Offensive, which means you were offended by a friend, which is worse than offense because a friend did it.
If you weren't a comedian, you could work at Merriam-Webster.
I mean, those are two good words, dog, that could be added to the lexicon. I mean, let's be honest. Those are two good joints that could be added to the lexicon. I'm trying to find this quote here by this Outlaw Poets. Come on, where are ya? Fuck, I hate, it's like when you're looking for it, you can't find it. And I took a picture of it, and I still can't find it.
Just like my dick.
You can't find your dick?
Well, it's a joke. It's a good joke about having a small dick. It's by Robert Pirsig, who supposedly is like a great philosopher. I really love this quote. You are never dedicated to something you have complete confidence in. No one is fanatically shouting that the sun is going to rise tomorrow. They know it's going to rise tomorrow. When people are fanatically dedicated to political or religious faiths or any other kinds of dogmas or goals, it's always because these dogmas or goals are in doubt.
That sounds like an excuse that you give for cheating on your wife.
You get what it's like if you're fervently like defending without reservation.
Yeah.
That means you're overcompensating for the fact that you know that there may be some questions here and there.
Yeah.
Nobody argues whether the sun's coming up tomorrow. Only a crazy person would. And nobody would ever say you're wrong. If you said the sun's coming up tomorrow, nobody's going to ever go, hey, man, I disagree because the sun's a liberal cock and what they're trying to do is ruin America.
Yeah.
The sun is not coming up. Or you'll never hear the other way. Like these crazy gun-owning maniacs, they believe in the deep state. The sun isn't a deep state. The sun is a moral force for God. Nobody argues about the sun because the sun's not in question. All these other things are always in question, right? Because they're always in flux. And it depends. A lot of it depends on the context. Every one of these issues depends on the context. Abortion depends on the context. Gun ownership depends on the context. Religion depends on the context. All these things depend on the fucking context, but nobody is waiting around for the context anymore. They just wait. They don't wait to see. They wait to see the headline. They wait to see the event, and they react. And if it's against their team, they demonize it. If it's for their team, they glorify it. So as soon as this raid happened, nobody's waiting for any information. People are going like, you're attacking my prez. Or the other side's going, get him, lock him up, lock him up. We don't even know what the fucking thing is. We know there's some documents. That's all we know. For all we know, one of his own family members could have turned on him. I mean, how else did the FBI know that these documents were there? It's very plausible somebody in his inner circle or his family dropped dime on him. It's plausible. We don't know. Again, this is conjecture, speculation. I don't know. We don't know much. But because of the climate of hate for each other, nobody's even waiting. They've already defined what's happened. Both sides have already defined what's happened. One side is saying this is overreach and they're just trying to get him. They're targeting him and this is unjust. And the other side is going, lock him up. He's a criminal. Nobody wants the facts. Nobody wants to know the context. We're living in a time where there's an assault on context. There's an assault on context.
Context is Blockbuster.
It's out.
Yeah.
It's out, baby. And that's no bueno. That is no bueno. We're living at a time where there's a war on context and you can't add comedy to comedy. You cannot. There was just they were just advocates in New York. You guys are going to like this one. This is a great one. This is really, I don't know what to do with this except say you can't add comedy to comedy. It says, New York has amended several state laws to remove the word inmate and replace it with incarcerated person to refer to people serving prison time. You want me to repeat that?
Yeah.
So they've amended several state laws. This is what they're busy making laws over, to remove the word inmate and replace it with a less offensive, more inclusive, less derogatory, less triggering, less negative, insinuating inmate to incarcerated person. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. If you asked me, I mean, this is real. It's not a comedy sketch. That would be a comedy sketch I would pitch to you right now and be like, hey, we could make fun of sort of this, we could make fun of PC culture a little bit. What would be the most outlandish thing? Oh, I got an idea. What if people started getting offended by the word inmate and we change it to something that was absolutely synonymous and tantamount to inmate? If you don't know the word tantamount, I don't want you to be watching this anymore unless you get smarter. It's a good word, tantamount. Means equal in value, equal in whatever. And we change it to incarcerated person, something that means the exact same thing, but is a little wordier. And also, guess what? Both of those things have negative connotations because the people who are inmates or incarcerated people are in the situation they're in because they've committed crimes. They've broken the law. So now we are advocating for how you refer to criminals, which, by the way, criminal, you won't be able to say that. You'll have to call them person whose society has failed. Mm-hmm. That will be the next thing.
Yeah, you can't say sentencing. You have to say vacation time.
A person who murdered your own home will be person who justifiably committed murder because they were not offered a Sanka by homeowner. I mean, this is a real thing, dog. This is Albany, New York. Again, this is not the freebeacon.net. This is the AP. New York has amended several state laws to remove the word inmate and replace it with incarcerated person to refer to people serving prison time. Thank you, Albany, because I had no idea what inmate meant until you made this amendment. It's good to know that they're hard at work in the state government in New York dealing with the issues that matter to people. Jesus fucking Christ.
Language matters, said State Senator Gustavo Rivera, Bronx Democrat.
I mean, what the fuck are we doing here? When the red wave comes and sweeps these people up in the midterms, even with this abortion overturn, with Roe v. Wade being overturned, they're going to go, what? How did this happen? Because you pissed people off because you were spending their tax dollars writing laws about changing the word from inmate to incarcerated person. What the what can I even say about this? What is there to say about this?
Doesn't make sense. It's like they're trying to get votes from inmates, but they can't do that because they can't vote anyway.
It doesn't even make sense, man. This is the type of stuff where just activism just keeps going, and you're going like, how is this not transparent to the people doing? How are the other people in the state legislature on board with this? Why is nobody saying, hey guys, don't we have more important things to do? I mean, so prison reform advocates have said the term inmate has a dehumanizing effect. Prisoners say it can feel degrading when jail guards refer to them as inmates, especially in front of their families during an in-person visit. Language matters, says State Gustavo Rivera. Listen, comedy is dead. It's fucking dead. With context and reason, it's fucking dead. I welcome the dictator that's about to come, and I hope he is violent, and I hope he is unforgiving. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't know what to do with the world we're living in right now, dog. You would think the threat of nuclear war would shake these people into having their priorities reorganized back into priorities, into what is important and what's not. This is another concrete step, said Senator Gustavo Rivera. Another concrete step our state is taking to make our criminal justice system one that focuses on rehabilitation rather than solely punishment. Yeah, that really did it. That really did it. Not even a program, not a work program, not education, not any type of, I don't know, whatever they can do to build the moral compass and character of these people, build their confidence, not therapy, not anything like that, not job training programs, not giving them a skill, not giving them a trade, which that would be great if we could give them some fucking trades, right? So we don't got to depend on all this goddamn foreign labor. You're listening to Rush Limbaugh. Close the borders. Give the inmates goddamn wrenches and let them fix cars. Clip that, Seth Simons, and write your dumb fucking article nobody cares about. Right? That's exactly how they got that's how they got Shane Gillis, right? He was doing a little clip. Like, got him. Like, this is what a real estate agent would say at the time. So, character piece. Not that. No. Changing the word inmate to incarcerated person will do it. I agree. I think it's fixed. I think it's fixed. Much like these kids in Chicago who created the largest mosaic of a Ukrainian flag in support of Ukraine. I think the war is over now. I think the war is over. It's good that these teachers in schools, you know, they're really focusing. Can we just have some kids who learned math and science, just a few, who say, you know what, tweet I support the Ukraine, and then get back to solving this algebra problem, please. The Chicago teens, and of course, this is mainstream news in every outlet. And of course, it's in Madison where I shot my fucking special, right? The outlet. This is from Madison.com because Jesse always pulls up the most mainstream one for the story. But this is from Madison, Wisconsin. Teenagers in Chicago, armed with boxes of breakfast cereal, created a Guinness Book World Record breaking mosaic on Thursday and raised money for Ukraine in the process. Okay, so they raised a little money. That's great.
Well, that's impressive because usually teens are not armed with cereal boxes in Chicago.
No, they're armed with something else, unfortunately. So can you scroll down a little bit just for a second?
That's it.
That's it. Yeah. So that's all. That's it. That's it. Let's go to Reuters, who covered this as well. Using some 5,000 boxes of cereal donated by Kellogg's. I mean, Jesus Christ. Talk about an empty gesture. Members of the Chicago Children United for Ukraine created a gigantic... What is that going to do, man? If I was a teacher, I would just tell the kids the truth. I'd be like, hey, we're not going to spend all this time creating this because it's not... You know, Putin's not going to see this in the Guinness Book of World Records and then go, you know what? I'm going to stop. You know, it's not going to happen.
This is a Kellogg's ad stunt.
That's what it is. I love a jaded ad guy to tell the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, somebody who's been on the other side and who got out. That's exactly what this is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we used to have to come up with shit like this all the time.
It's unbelievable, dog. The level of manipulation that we put each other through with these companies, standing for all these causes because they want to tug your heartstrings like a Dalmatian running next to a horse on a cold day.
Yeah.
You ever ask yourself what that has to do with Budweiser? I'll tell you what it has to do with Budweiser and drinking beer. Absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
It's giving you heartwarming imagery so you can associate it with Budweiser. It's a fucking manipulative ploy. It's got nothing to do with that warm piss water they call beer that you got to drink if you can't afford a Stella. It's got nothing to do with it. Just like this has nothing to do with ending the war in Ukraine, and it's got everything to do with using Kellogg's box cereals.
I mean, look at this.
It's a big Pops. It's a big ad for Rice Krispies and Pox. And you're telling me firsthand from the inside you have to think about shit like this.
Yeah, yeah. You have to come up with stunts with the product, some way to get them out there and, in the mainstream, do some kind of event that took place in a public place.
And here you go.
Yeah. And notice that all the boxes are face up.
Yeah, they're all
It is spreading awareness, though.
about cereal.
No, about the war. Because
Yeah.
Rice Krispies sound like a war zone in Ukraine.
It does, yeah. And also, it's really great that they're spreading awareness about the war, because if they didn't do this, I don't think anyone would have heard of it.
Yeah.
I don't think anyone knows it's going on.
Mm-hmm.
It's really, really been back page news when it really should have been more in the forefront. I mean, I can't tell you how many people who haven't heard of the Ukraine-Russia conflict right now. It's really, it's buried. It's buried. This is hilarious. How long do you think it took these Chicago teens? Do you think they did that on their own time? God damn it. We have to at some point just be like, all right, you know what? It's time to start training our kids to compete with the rest of the world who's taking education seriously. We can't. We got to start pushing people out of the arts. Leave the arts for addicts, sociopaths, and fucking dumb rejects like me. Okay, enough of this shit. We don't need any more comedians. We don't need any more fucking quote-unquote writers. We don't need any more fucking finger painters. Jesse's enough. We got one. We don't need any more poets. We don't need any more rappers. We don't need any more fucking mixtapes. We don't need any more fucking bad musicians. Okay? We don't need any more fucking spoken word poems. You guys suck. The art form is shit. I feel nothing when I listen to you with that dumb same cadence. You're all following each other. We don't need any more fucking neighborhoods where people are fucking repurposing old bodegas to make candle stores. We've had enough. Okay, cut your fucking beard. Get rid of your bed bugs. Put on a suit and let's get back to the 1950s. Where we were the greatest country in the world because we were building things. We've had all our social justice movements, right? Okay? Now, if we can fight off this fucking wave to get rid of gay marriage and maybe come to our senses about a couple other things, we've fucking come a long way. Now, we've got to get back to making shit, baby. We got to get back to making shit. We've had the social progress we needed. Now let's get back to the fucking nationalism. Wow, I'm becoming a right-wing fucking maniac. This podcast sounds like it's coming from a basement in Long Island.
Yeah.
We got to get back to making things here. All right, enough is enough. I'm fucking sick of MS-13 everywhere. It's crazy. I went out to fucking King Cutler the other day, and then I fucking went to the Walt Whitman Mall, and there's fucking MS-13s on my windows. I don't fucking care. All right, I'm going to say shit. I was over in Bethpage at the fucking doctor because I go to the doctor every other day because I fucking get anxiety because I don't do anything. And I just goes get my fucking pills. So I have back pain. Why do I have back pain? Because I sit in my fucking cul-de-sac every day and I worry and I watch Fox News and I worry. That's where we're at, man. Context is dead. Everything's in question. All institutions. Nobody trusts the pharmaceutical industry. The right criticizes the pharmaceutical industry. I guess the far left did too, right? It's sort of like the middle Republicans and the middle Democrats were kind of, they kind of thought the pharmaceutical, everyone's kind of a little on board with the price gouging that the pharmaceutical industry does. But now the right is really coming after the efficiency of the pills themselves, right? There was a study done, I guess by a woman at UK college or something, a study about antidepressants, and it really sent the right loose. And now everyone sounds like Tom Cruise. Remember when Tom Cruise was like, you don't know shit about psychiatry, okay? Because in the Church of Scientology, all we do is remove the thetans from your brain and you're cured. And now there's a war against antidepressants. Now these are coming into question. And the study is interesting, okay? The study is actually interesting. Okay, the study went viral, of course, and then it was on all the media outlets on the right. It was shared and discussed by Pizzagate promoter Jack Posobiec on his podcast. Now, this guy, we're getting to the bottom of what's going on in these basements of these Pizza Huts. We'll get there, dog. Do you know that Pizzagate thing? The owner of that pizza place was Greek.
I did not.
Like he's
know.
a Greek guy, yeah, who owns it, and
They had people coming in, like looking for, like. Doing
oh no, they showed up with AR-15s.
Right.
They showed up with AR-15s. Can you imagine? Guys making sauce. and I could tell you firsthand there was nothing going on in the basement. Why would there be? If you had a secret, I mean, I don't know if you throw that in the you could, I don't know if you'd put it in a pizza place. Maybe it's the last people, the mafia uses pizza places to launder money. Why not baby blood?
Kids like pizza.
Kids like pizza. You can hide it in the pizza sauce. They're blood. They're both red. I don't know. Anyway, so the study was interesting because the study was examining the efficiency, the efficaciousness, of SSRIs, which are your antidepressants, right? So what they found was a lot of the placebo studies, the people actually felt better. You got to keep scrolling, Jess. It was the main hypothesis for how antidepressants might act on the biological mechanisms of depression is not supported by evidence. I see our research is linked with the way we understand and evaluate antidepressants, and it logically follows from my work on the nature of drug action, said Moncrief, who did the study. Moncrief spent years actively questioning the efficacy, like I said, get smarter, of SSRIs and the nature of mental illness in general, as well as promoting widely disputed beliefs about the dangers of various mental health interventions such as antidepressants or alternative forms of treatment. So it sounds like she went into this study with a little bit of, she started with a hypothesis, which is always a little bit of a red flag. But that being said, there were some interesting findings from this large study, right? And I think the interesting part about that was, like I mentioned, is that the placebo side seemed to also work, and the side that was actually taking the SSRI drugs was not like uniform.
Yeah.
It had some effect, I think, it had a positive effect on a minority of the people who were taking it to cure depression. So I think this is one of those ongoing things. But of course, certain people who are at war with the pharmaceutical industry took this and ran with it. They just took it and ran with it. It hit every right-wing news outlet. And they're basically treating it as a foregone conclusion, as like a smoking gun. They're treating this as a smoking gun. What can we gun is like a good luck gun. Is a glun. It gives you good luck. It's a glun. Several UK researchers and psychiatrists, as well as the spokesperson for the Royal College of Psychology, criticized the paper, questioning why an umbrella review of outdated studies was even needed. That prompted Moncrief and her co-author to issue a rebuttal. So here we are. It's a war now. And like we said, all institutions are being questioned. Everything's in question. You don't know what's real. You don't know what works. You don't know if the vaccine works or if it's ivermectin, or you don't know. People are probably going to question polio. They're even questioning Ann Heche's death. Which, here's the funny thing about Ann Heche. If it was a conspiracy and they killed Ann Heche, I hate to say this, but who cares? Mm-hmm. I don't mean that, like, I don't care about her death. It's very sad. It's very sad.
Could have been a bit bigger actress.
Could have been, but it's like, what?
And you got overshadowed by Olivia Newton-John. Rest in peace.
Who's going to kill Ann Heche? I mean, really, the only person possible would be, Ellen, right? Because they had an acrimonious breakup, and Ann Heche was still talking about her on podcasts, saying I think she went to Africa. I think Ellen went to Africa, and Ann Heche was on a podcast going like, I can breathe now that she's gone. So Ann Heche wasn't over it. And the only person who had a motive that we know of to kill her would be Ellen. I don't know why, because she's just a disgruntled ex. But if Ellen killed her, let's just say I wouldn't be surprised from what I've heard. It's a joke. I don't know.
No, there's evidence that Ellen killed her.
Is there?
Her body was found next to a tuna sandwich.
I don't know. I don't think, but there's all these conspiracy theories because she was getting put into the ambulance and she propped up for a second. They had blankets around her. She was a burn victim. And then I saw comments from people who work with trauma victims and trauma nurses, and they said that's common when someone's in shock. But then people are going like, oh no, the government killed her because Ann Heche had some secrets. I mean, she's just an actress whose kind of career was changed to podcast. What would be the purpose of killing Ann Heche? We do know she said on some podcasts that she joked about drinking and driving. There was that photo of her with the vodka, and it could have been photoshopped. Again, this is who knows what's true anymore. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying this is the world we live in. She was found with cocaine in her system. Maybe they planted it. Who knows? Maybe the fucking CIA and Mossad are everywhere and behind everything, including the SMAP. The SMAP between Will Smith, the SMAP, which is a combination of a slap and a smack.
Come on, man.
Who knows? Because, dude, there's a conspiracy for fucking everything now. Even something as small as this podcast, I'll see a comment like, Yannis is a worker for the deep state. His brother worked for the Obama administration. Mm-hmm. You want to just grab these people and go, you guys need to go outside. That's not true. Okay. It's not true, dog. But it's when you're outside of something, you can your imagination can go wherever. You can create whatever it is. It's almost like, when you break up with a girl and she's dating other dudes or whatever, and you're not over her, and your imagination. You ever been in that situation? Mm-hmm. Where just in your imagination, there's just 4 dudes running a train on her. Yeah. And then you're like, where were you last night? Where were you last night? Where were you last night? And she's like, I'm with my mom. We're at the supermarket. And you're going put her on the phone. And then she's like, John, you have to stop calling. Okay, we're at the supermarket. And you're like, stop making your voice sound like her mom. I know you're fucking her. It's like your imagination just runs wild. Yeah. When you're outside of the situation, your imagination runs wild, and anything can be true. I don't know what's going to hold the line for reality. I don't know if we'll ever live in a world where reality matters anymore. I don't know if we'll ever have objective truth now. We're post-truth. This is a post-truth era. Nobody's even searching for the truth anymore. Everyone's just trying to have their interest heard or have their personal need for attention interjected in whatever the story is for their own self-aggrandizing purposes, whether that just be followers or attention or connected to their job description. It's always some type of interest for them, and that now supersedes what the objective reality is. That's where we are. Because I don't think you could get more of a disconnected to any potential power play story than Ann Heche driving her fucking car into a building. I'm sure Whitney Cummings did the same thing 3 months ago, okay? People in LA are unwell, okay? It's an ego-driven city, and when that ego stops being, what's the word?
Fluctuated?
No.
Massaged.
God damn it. I have a brain tumor. I know it.
Come on, man.
No, it's just hard to think and talk at the same time. Yeah, when that ego stops being massaged, everyone goes a little batty. You go a little batty. You start to self-medicate a little bit to numb out the kind of awful, insecure person you are that was okay when you were young and you were pimping yourself based on your looks for roles. And now that those looks are gone, now that that heat is gone, the only thing you can do is paint over the pain with SSRI antidepressants. only to have Tom Cruise say they don't work. But you know they work because you feel nothing until you go to Mexico to try to reclaim your soul by a shaman, and then you do it and you realize, oh my God, I found out that I'm a human being and I had a war against my ego, but really nature just made you throw up from the poison in ayahuasca. Nothing happened. You're still a fucking fungus growing on a rock floating in nothing that nobody cares about because nature's amoral and doesn't give a fuck about your ego or your needs. It doesn't give a fuck about the fact that you felt like you needed to become a better person and become more in touch with the universe. Who gives a fuck? It cares about you and it cares about Stalin the same. Nothing. You could murder 20 people. Guess what? Still insignificant. You could save 20 people. Guess what? Still insignificant. So why don't you turn on Longdays, have a fucking laugh, understand the fact that you're a booger. And that's funny. Ain't nothing wrong with looking at yourself in the mirror and going, I'm a booger. I'm a rotting flesh pile who minute by minute is being killed by the oxygen I breathe. If that doesn't tell you this is a comedy, I don't know what does. That the thing that keeps you alive is also the thing that kills you. Oxygen. The same thing that makes a banana go ripe is the same thing that makes a banana go black and brown. Poison from oxygen. How wild is that? That aging is actually like oxygen poison. It's too much. You got to find that middle ground, baby. The Greek said, pan metron ariston, everything in moderation. So, guys, when you're taking in your conspiracies, cut it off at Ann Heche. Everything in moderation. Keep the Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, you can even keep the Yanni as a deep state actor for his brother who works for the Obamas. Keep it. Why not? It's fun. Keep that one. It's harmless. But let's lose the Ann Heche is a Mossad agent who had secret information about the bin Laden family investing with the Clinton Foundation to make money on childs who live under pizza and milk their blood to send to John Stamos' house. Let's put an X-nay on that one because you're going too far. That is the gender therapy at 2 years old of conspiracy theories. Even conspiracy theories have gotten out of control. Ask Alex Jones. It cost him. I would just love if he stuck to it instead of folding and admitting that it was real. I mean, dog, if you're going to go all the way. Mm-hmm. They're going to find you anyway. Yeah. It would have been funny if he was in there going, wait a second. Okay, what had happened was maybe they weren't. Maybe they weren't crisis actor kids, but they were holograms. They were definitely holograms. I've seen the technology. They did it for Tupac. They could do it for those children. I mean, who cares what happens with that? It's old news at this point. So, yeah, Facebook was found, I guess, by some watchdog groups to have allowed tons of disinformation. They've allowed tons of disinformation to get through about the Brazilian 2022 election. Dude, this is happening in what country in Africa too, where people are upset? I mean, it's like democracy is really fucking teetering all over the world where everyone's questioning every election and saying it's illegitimate because of disinformation. I think the truth is there's always been disinformation in politics. There's always been mudslinging where this guy's calling that guy whatever. It's just now they're blaming these outlets because everyone's lost faith in the media because the media has been caught in a few things and you know, you can't lie, man. It used to be like, you know, if the New York Times fucked up, that was a big deal, man. Like it didn't happen much. There was big institutions like the Boston Globe, the New York Times, the Washington Post. They built their reputation not on partisan rancor, but on integrity. It was a thing that mattered. You learned it in journalism school. It was a thing that mattered. There was consequences when something was caught. There was consequences for things. Now everyone's treated like a Catholic priest. They're just reshuffled to a new area. like this chick who has sympathy for pedophiles who just got hired by John Hopkins. I mean, this is fucking insane. This is fucking insane, dog. This woman who used to work at Old Dominion, right? She was fired from Old Dominion. She was fired because of the backlash about her comments advocating for pedophiles, again, to have their name changed from pedophile to minor attracted person. Because Alan Walker, and it's spelled Alan, Allyn, because this guy used to be a girl. I think she is a girl, but might identify as a guy. I don't think she's transitioned. I can't tell. She was forced to resign after she defended. Oh, sorry, he. I apologize. Jesus Christ. He. All right, fucking he. After he. It's a woman, but it's he. Defended minor attracted persons. I mean, dude, this is just it's an insane. Dude, this is John Hopkins. I mean, this is where, like, I hate to say this, Jared, because you're 24, but this is a scary time, man. Like, I don't know what institution is beyond reproach. I don't know whose reputation is not being damaged by some of the decisions they make right now. This is really tough, dude. This one's really tough. Because here's my stance on this. Alan Walker was saying that there shouldn't be this stigma against pedophiles because they can't help it. And a lot of pedophiles don't actually abuse kids. So they should not be considered pedophiles. They should be empathetically referred to as minor attracted persons. Here's the deal, sir. Alan, someone who I assume doesn't have kids, because I'm not going to judge your life by your profession, but I'm definitely going to judge it by your fucking haircut. And I know that you are not someone who enjoys having family dinner with your kids. Okay? You're dedicated to your work. I'll just say it that way. Some things deserve a stigma, no matter what. It's not a perfect world. Some people are born bad. Psychopaths are bad. Whether they're murdering people or not, they want to, and that's bad. Some of them become CEOs and they don't murder, but they're only not murdering because they weren't hit or abused by their parents and or they don't want to go to jail, so they take out their aggression in other ways by dumping chemicals in the Hudson River for the corporation that they run because they don't give a fuck, and then 50 years later, everyone in Fort Edward, New York gets cancer. Okay? Should we have called that person not a psychopath? Maybe we should have called them a PAP. A psychotic attracted a M.A.P, a murder attracted person. The fuck are you talking about? Some things deserve a stigma, whether the person deserved it or not. Nature's imperfect. Guess what? That's a fucking crocodile. It doesn't want to eat me, per se, for any moral reason, but it will. But it fucking will. And it's not a bad thing. You're not going, oh, that's a bad crocodile. That is an immoral crocodile. It's a fucking crocodile. That's where we're headed, dude. Pretty soon they're going to be called big snapping turtles. Big, fun-loving, snapping turtles. This is insanity in motion. And it almost breaks my heart a little bit that this is John Hopkins University has hired this person who has this, who I guess wrote this dissertation. I don't know. This is her position. We're excited to share that Alan Walker, spelled, used to be Allison, probably it's spelled Allyn, will be joining the Moore Center as a postdoctoral fellow of the Moore Center for Prevention of Child Sexual Abuse. So I guess their position is she's going to work with these pedophiles because part of what her thing was that they should be given, listen to this part, they should be given child dolls to abuse, to redirect. You know what that means to me? That's like terrorists on the monkey bars.
Something to practice on?
That sounds like, when you're an MMA fighter and they give you that pad and you get to practice your ground and pound, your ground game. That's what that sounds like to me. I don't think that's going to fix it. See, this is someone who thinks she can fix it. She thinks she can fix it. When some things are not fixable. You're not going to fix it. I'll say that with authority and call it arrogance if you want. I'll emphatically support. There he is, by the way.
They.
They're they. Oh, they. Sorry.
Yeah.
So wait, her pronouns are they?
Yeah, they.
Okay, it's they. Okay. So it is they, actually. He's not even making a joke. I mean, this is insanity, dog. So one of the things she advocated for is that type of therapy. So that's one of the things she advocates for, is giving them dolls to abuse so they don't abuse real people. This is that type of thing of renaming the inmates or putting people out on bail. It's like, it's really nuts. And of course, this doesn't affect her because I assume, she's not interested in having any kids.
Not with that haircut.
I'm sorry.
Not with that haircut, unless they're
I
trying to
said
have
she,
kids
I
with someone on the
apologize.
WWE tour.
Yeah.
They wrote a book.
They wrote a book. And by they, I mean, I'm just trying to look out for those people who are confused, who think that a lot of people wrote the book.
Long, dark shadow, minor attracted people.
Minor attracted people. So we're going to change inmates to incarcerated person and pedophiles to minor attracted people. It's never ending, man. And
You can buy it on Amazon.
you can buy it on Amazon. There it is. A long, dark shadow, minor attracted people and their pursuit for dignity. There's no end to empathy either. There's no end to up, but guess what? There's no end to empathy either. You can always just keep going. Keep going. Who's thinking about them? Who cares? Who cares? Good luck.
Is it possible to soften the title but not soften how people think about a certain group in society? Like, is it possible that we can call pedophiles minor attracted people, but we can also know the danger that they possess? Because with the inmate thing...
Well, we do that now. They have to sign a registry.
Yeah.
So they all have to be identified.
Yeah, but is it possible that we could still have that balance of like, oh, they're not really bad, so I'm going to grant them, calling them something else, but I also know what they truly can do, what they possess? Is it possible?
I don't know what your question is. I'm trying to, Jesse, are you understanding?
Is it possible to like do what they're suggesting, but also understand that it's not everything that they are suggesting. Is it possible to come to a balance with this?
It's the same thing you can do with a crocodile. I think the crocodile analogy is very apt, actually.
Yeah.
You can go, this thing won't necessarily eat you, but you want to know how it won't eat you?
Okay.
By staying away from it.
So we need a Steve Irwin for pedophiles.
Yes, because it will eat you. That's its nature. Its nature is to eat you. So you can call it what you want, but I suggest whatever you call it, you know that the kid knows that there's a stigma attached to it, so the kid stays away.
Yeah.
You don't want your kid, you don't want to teach your, this is what she wants, for kids to go, that's just a minor attracted person. They're not necessarily bad.
Yeah, no.
They can be over for dinner. Fuck that. I'm sorry. It's like, look, tornadoes and tsunamis happen also. What is John Hopkins going to hire someone to try and rebrand tsunamis? People are going to die in tsunamis. People are going to die in volcano explosions. How do we disarm these volcanoes?
Yeah.
Whether you call him a M.A.P or a pedophile, it doesn't matter. What people should object to is what she's trying to do, she's trying to destigmatize something that I think by reason standard deserves the stigma. Deserves the stigma. Whether they act on it or not, you deserve the stigma. You want to live with dignity? Oh well.
Yeah.
Oh well. What do you want me to do about it? You know what? I don't want to know about puppies being killed also because there's too many dogs and they're overpopulated. What am I going to do? Take them all in? I mean, this is just people who don't live in the real world, man. You don't live in the fucking real world. Are we going to not, are they not going to register? Are minor attracted people not going to register? No, they're not. They're going to have her book is all about these methods to kind of treat it, right? So give them these dolls, you know, it's like, I guess, try that. How about put them on fucking Greenland and keep them there? That would be good too. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not saying you should shoot him in the back of the head. I feel like the movie in Goodfellas. I'm sorry, that was a terrible. I know he's your friend. I apologize, but you know, he's scaring me. Is all I'm saying. He's scaring me. Is what I'm saying, Paul. This guy scares me. You know this guy. All right, let's see what we can do about the restaurant business. What else does it say in this article? Let's see how it spins it. Other contentious claims made by the professor suggest that pedophiles should also, be provided with a childlike sex doll. I mean, Jesus Christ, to satisfy their urges, and that the sex crime was not immoral. It is immoral. Whether you're doing it on a child doll or not, it's immoral, man. Okay? It's immoral. By definition, it's immoral.
Yeah.
A little child cannot consent. So you're doing it to a doll who is the replica, the effigy of a child. And what that child is an innocent child who's pre-sex decision, you know, should be living in a sex-free environment of adults. And they believe pedophiles don't choose who they're attracted to, so it shouldn't be considered moral. Well, good. Look, psychopaths don't choose to be psychopaths. They know that too, right? Also, that's not entirely true, actually. It's a intricate combination of nature and nurture, right? For sociopaths, and I'm sure for a lot of child molesters. I'm sure there's a lot of child molesters who were also molested when they were a kid, and I bet you some of them weren't, and they still molest. I don't think there's an umbrella way to understand it. It's less stigmatizing than terms like pedophile. No, you know, because here's the thing. The term is not the thing. The word is not the thing that's stigmatizing. It's how people look at it, how people use it. And you can call them minor attracted people if you want. People are going to stigmatize that too, because nobody's going to want them coming over when their kids are there. No matter what you do, they're going to be stigmatized. It's never going to be okay, except at your dumb house. And that's fine. Go put that shit someplace and you go fucking hang out with them.
Yeah. Now all you're doing is creating the slur for pedophiles. Oh, here come the MAPs.
Yeah. A lot of people, when they hear the term pedophile, they automatically assume that it means a sex offender. No, I think it means somebody who's into kids. That's what I think it means. Yeah. And it leads to a lot of misconceptions about attraction towards minors. This is bullshit, man. This is total bullshit. I'll sum it up in one word. She's trying to destigmatize something that should be stigmatized. It's actually moral and good for society to stigmatize it. She's caring about the fucking pedophiles, but not thinking about the fucking kids who are at risk from these people being out in society. Fuck you, you monster bitch. Speaking as a fucking parent. This is bullshit, man. And John Hopkins, fuck you. And ODU, you did the right thing, but you did the wrong thing for allowing this shit in the first place. Our fucking institutions are fucking crumbling, dude. This is nonsense. They're not doing this shit over in other places. This is fucking nonsense. This is fucking, you have to draw the line fucking somewhere. Guess where I draw it? Pedophiles. I'm open to everything else except fucking pedophiles and psychopaths who kill. How about that? Mm-hmm. Jesus fucking Christ. But here we are. How has society failed you, pedophile? How has society failed you? They've stigmatized you? Oh my God. We are so sorry. And I know you're worried because you're sitting on this podcast and you're 24. But I will assure you, every single thing I've said is fucking objectively true and will never not be true.
No, I believe it.
I guarantee you that. I don't get it, dog. You know, this is the type of shit that happened in ancient Greece. It happened in the Ottoman Empire. It happened in Rome. Slowly, they started to destigmatize this stuff. And guess what happens next?
Yeah.
Guess what happens next? Guess what happens next? There's an adult walking down the street with some 6-year-old. They do it now in some other countries. I won't say what kind of countries because I don't want a fatwa. But there's certain countries still where you can fucking marry a child in certain places that are that and otherwise. There's certain places in the world where it's totally fine. And guess what? It happens. It used to be more okay. But guess what was also okay? Slavery. People used to think that was okay. It's not okay. You know? A 35-year-old man marrying a 12-year-old is not okay. We've progressed past that. We know why it's not okay. Because the 12-year-old is 12. Doesn't want that shit. It's not, the 12-year-old's not at an age where it can fucking say whether it wants it or not. And here, I'm grateful for the outpouring of support among the 80. Here's the thing, though. We're at a point where there's just no, and that's part of the problem, too, is that there's no conversation that can happen here. There's no conversation. She's made her conclusions. Her community's made her conclusions. People who agree with what I'm saying have made their conclusions. They happen to be right. But there's no, it's like the way I felt at Montreal, too. It's a very strange thing that's happened now where it's like, let's just stay away from each other because there's no, you know, you're not reasonable. Maybe that's made me unreasonable. I don't know. But like, there's nothing to do here except go. And that's why I know we're at the point where we're going to have a total breakdown because like, there's nothing like ODU is supporting this. They're supporting it. So, you know, John Hopkins is supporting it. At some point, ODU was supporting. At some point, John Hopkins, which is a lofty institution of fucking science and medicine, is supporting this shit. And you're going, look, at this point, fuck you. Like, what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do? Is anything I'm saying out of line, Jesse? You're the adult in the room.
That's a weird hill to die on. I don't know why you would put your research into this shit.
Yeah, I mean, I think the conclusion is clear. There's certain people who want to fuck kids, and those people should be stigmatized. I know they're upset about it. I'm sorry. I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
You know? I know you're upset about it. I would be upset about it too. I would be upset about it too if I was born wanting to fuck kids. If they're born wanting to fuck kids, and that's what research shows. Guess what else I'd be upset about? If I was born with no legs. You know, I'd be upset about that too. Guess what? I'd be upset if I went outside and got hit by a bus. I'd be upset about that too. I'd also be upset about the fact if someone murdered my friend. I'd be upset about that too. But shit happens because life can be cruel. And you were born a pedophile, that's cruel. You want to fuck kids. Guess what? You know what the thing that's going to stop them is? Stigmatization. Because they want to do it. They want to do it. They want to do it. Now, did you hear what I just said? Because it's the truth. The only thing that will stop them is a hostile environment to them doing that thing.
Yeah.
Right? Criminals want to do crime. The only thing that's going to stop them is a hostile environment to them doing crime. Some people like crime, dog. I know a few. And you talk to them, you go like, their brain's just different than mine. They're into it. They're fucking into it. They enjoy it. They get off on it. So good luck. Good luck. This was a real long day on this, but I feel strongly about it. It's very strange. It's it's as strange as Ben & Jerry's suing Ben & Jerry's for selling ice cream in the Middle East, the West Bank, I believe, right? So Ben & Jerry's is suing the parent company Unilever over sale of Israeli businesses. They said the lawsuit, Unilever's decision was made without the approval. So they're still on the board or something. They're kind of trying to be like Bruce Wayne, even though he sold the company in the last Batman. Mm-hmm. Ben & Jerry's has said last year it would stop sales in the West Bank territory occupied by Israel. That should do it. Suing parent company. And I know they'd say, like, look, we don't support it. We don't want to sell there. Fine. But I guess what? Guess what? You also sold the company. So it's like, what can you do? Ben & Jerry's is suing them to stop the sale of its Israeli business to local licensing. That's great because you know what really fuels that situation over there is the accessibility to ice cream.
Yeah.
Why not hurt innocent kids who want to eat ice cream? I mean, I don't think ice cream. I know you're trying to make a statement. You disagree with what's going on over there. I know you think one side's all right and one side's all bad. I get it. I don't know what to tell you, dog. It's a complicated situation over there. And I tell you one thing, it's a complicated situation. That's all you can say about Israel and Palestine. Israel's government sees the occupied territories as part of its economy, and any efforts to boycott business in the areas is seen as applying to the country. Stopping sale of ice cream in the occupied territories would have ended sales throughout Europe. In its suit, Ben & Jerry's said that its brand is synonymous with social activism. Really? So you're selling me diabetes in a pint, but you're the good guy? Is it just because you're a couple of two Vermont Bernie socialist guys who happen to become billionaires from selling a Stephen Colbert flavored Chunky Monkey? They throw every piece of diabetes. In fact, the most irresponsible flavors I've ever seen have been Ben & Jerry's, where they go, what candy's out there available? Throw that in a tub of sugared cream. Chunky Monkey with fucking Reese's Pieces, punch cake. Throw some Snickers in there, Reese's in there. Throw some jelly beans in there. Ben & Jerry with their ice cream company. Ice cream's a happy thing, I get it. But guess what, Ben & Jerry? Most of the people that consume ice cream are kids. So, you know what? I don't know, dog. Why don't you just let all the kids eat ice cream and maybe you just throw up a tweet about what you feel about Israel and Palestine? I mean, you're not giving them money, you're making money over there. So it's like whatever, like let the kids eat ice cream, dog. It's actually a great break from the drama over there. If they could sit around and have a tub of fucking Hubby Dubby, Chunky Monkey, Steve Carell's fucking Hunky Monkey Chunky fucking ice cream, I think it's a nice break. Instead of doing this, why don't you put more ice cream in there? Say, hey, guys, let's just chill and eat ice cream. But so the Israeli licensor Avi Zinger of American Quality Project said the potential lawsuit between the Unilever and Ben & Jerry's could happen in my hotel. They already have a deal. All right, so... Look, if we can just get Ben & Jerry's out of the West Bank, problem solved, baby. I love that people are looking for real-world solutions, like a cereal box mosaic and the removal of Ben & Jerry's ice cream from a theater of war. It's going to do it. It's going to do it, man. And Ben & Jerry, I know you thought this through, and I know you were saying this has nothing to do with us and how we feel. It's got nothing to do with us. We really believe that if we remove ice cream from there, it'll send enough of a message to solve a conflict that goes back God knows how many years, okay? These people got different religions and they hate each other. What do you want from me? But the thing that they really fight over is Chunky Monkey, baby. Guys, small business shout out to our boy John Meekus. Doing freaking cold mountain spring water, what we drink here in the studio. Get away from plastic. It's bad for your health. It's bad for the environment. And this is made in the good old USA, baby, which is what we need to start doing more of. Also, it stays, guess what? Freaking cold. So go to freaking coldspringwater.com. No G. It's frickin'. It's frickin'. Freaking cold, springwater.com. Go order yourself a couple cases for your house, your office, whatever. Damn it, freaking coldspringwater.com. Brooklyn Cannery. Do we get those sodas coming? I don't know. We'll get those goddamn sodas. Brooklyn Cannery. Thank God for this company. They're so good. You want 15% off a case of these? Put Yannis Pappas, all one word, in the promo code at brooklyncannery.com. Go get yourself your sodas. Do you know how much better it feels to be drinking a soda that's sweetened with organic sweeteners like monk fruit and stevia or whatever they put in there? You drink a ginger beer, it's got 22 calories. How about them apples? I had to drink a Canada Dry the other night. I love ginger ale. It was 140 calories. It's brutal. And all I wanted was a ginger ale. I want to keep my feet. Also, they're prebiotics, so they're good for your stomach, and they're delicious. Somehow they took these natural ingredients and figured out a way to do it with no added sugar and make them actually delicious. So if you want to enjoy a soda and not feel like you're going to lose your feet or you're eating a fucking cake out of a can, go with Brooklyn Cannery. It's all natural. They figured it out. I love brooklyncannery.com, so start drinking it. Nicola Ragusa will give you LASIK in Astoria, Queens. Go to ocnyi.com or call 646-543-9474. That's it. Get 10% off. Mention my name or Longdays. They know who sent you. So take a drive. Get it for 10% off. Get it from a fan. That's fun. Talk about Longdays. Or if you're in the New York area and you want to have LASIK, go see Nicola. Longshore Coffee. It's the coffee I drink. Plain and simple. It's delicious. It's a small batch roastery in Providence, Rhode Island. Longshorecoffee.com. Use the promo code FUMES at checkout and get their premium blends and single origin coffees. Absolutely delicious. And they will free deliver in Rhode Island. So everywhere else, they deliver. So just order Longshore Coffee. You should be drinking quality coffee. Get rid of that Carrick. It's giving you cancer. Nate Linder, natelinder.com, Instagram, Nate_Linder. Reach out to Nate. Tell him Longdays sent you. This guy's going to take your social media game to the next level. If you need brand awareness, better leads, more online sales, Nate will take care of you. I'm going to use Nate. I am. Let's use him for one show, see what happens. He'll drive sales at the lowest possible cost. So go contact Nate at natelinder.com. Chris Minetti, Financial Services. He's still with us. Thank God he's on this side of the law. 215-750-3730 in the South Jersey, Philly area. Go get your check cash. If you show you got proof of thalassemia minor, guess what? He'll cash your check. He doesn't offer anything. He'll just cash your check if you're Italian or Greek. He'll cash your check no matter who you are. So go to chrisminetti.com where everything's legal.
No .com.
Oh, wait, did I say?
Just the phone number.
Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. It's been a long day. Call Chris. That's right. There's no website for this. All right? 215-750-3730 for my boy Chris Minetti. Fucking, he's the guy. He's your fucking guy. Gabish. ForTheFree.art. I love perusing this site. Organization dedicated to music in Hawaii, man. Find out about bands. Find out about shows. Go to ForTheFree.art right now, music lovers. And, of course, 305 PLP Media Services down there in South Florida. If you want to shoot a porno, hit these guys up. All right? They will produce the video for you, post-produce it, creative services. They'll make your videos. They'll show up, shoot it, edit it, deliver you a finished copy. Info at 305plp.com, or you can call or text 686-548-2274.
786.
Sorry, 768. Sorry.
786.
Sorry, call 786-548-2274. I got distracted by the cash. You can call them at 786-548-CASH as the S is a money sign. Or you can go to Vimeo.com/305PLP and check out their shit. Then we got exclusiveautoshipping.com. He's just the mainstay. He's getting a great deal. If you're moving your car anywhere and you got to move your wheels, just hit him up at exclusiveautoshipping.com. Get your free quote from Jared. He's a loyal listener. He really is. He's the owner of Exclusive Auto Shipping. Exclusiveautoshipping.com. They will move your freaking car.
It's been a